Sorry about the delay. So one of the many books that I have shared with my father that I can't share on this channel is Andree Harvey's Love's Glory: Recreations of Rumi. Now, I can talk about them, of course. I went over various books of poetry, but not poetry as terms of mere entertainment, but poetry as expressions of spiritual teachings, experiences of spiritual teachings. And in 2007, we went over a series of them. And she was squeaking here. It can be said that Rumi is the most translated, is the best-selling poet in the English language because of the translations. And I knew some people in Oregon who could, and Washington, who could recite his poetry in the Farsi. And it really is supreme. Now, people say Hafiz was better. And certainly among Persians, I believe that's still the most popular one. But he certainly didn't produce the volume of stuff. I certainly have been writing occasional poems, but just like Rumi, it wasn't till I met somebody that a person could call a soulmate, but not in the sexual sense. It went beyond that. And Rumi also had this outpouring of poetry after meeting a teacher from another path, but not taking them on as a teacher, but more as a friend. Now, I could be said to have been in the teacher position as well, but it was more in terms of sheer friendship, like I don't think this person has had since I met them then, but I met them back in 2000, or I was sharing this in 2006, but I met them in 2007, and so Love's Glory is a selection of 108 recreations of Rumi, and it could be a much smaller book. I don't know, could you fit it in the book that size? To say, what's, yeah, you might be able to fit it in the book that size there. But no matter how attached, no matter how in line with something or someone we are, we're always ourselves. And there's a state of love. I've talked about this outside of a church. The 5 stations of love: the love of the master slave, the love of the friend, the love of the parent-child, the love of the spouses, and you're on to the socially inappropriate level of love and our connection, or however you want to refer to it. But let me show the back cover of the book here. Andree Harvey is mentioned on YouTube. Another thing we have here about him is that 108, I guess people could learn these to say upon a mantra. But one thing I have taken over time, as much as I turn to the poetry as a terms of, well, let's see what other understandings are, sort of as a fiqh thing, I also have looked at it as, nowadays I write my own expressions. My whole channel is an expression through the terms of the world. Some of it's poetic. There's hundreds of poems. The Blonde Stranger in the Creek is certainly refers to a relationship with an individual that I, that did produce a lot of poetry, and I've written thousands of poems since that have nothing to do with her. But I've tried to share them with her nonetheless. And it's about living a life. It's not that, people grouping together for eternity to try to pull out the gratefulness and the heartache and other aspects of life without deviating from one's relationship. Remember that Rumi was what you'd call an Islamic fundamentalist, in that he did not want any of his poems, any of his teachings to differ with what Islam taught in either the revelation that Muhammad received or the inspiration that he received. But we could see that produced a very open-minded person who was, I don't know what to say. There could be some question that someone would have that I would remember. I don't want to just show you the whole picture of, the intro or something. But very, very few people address as wide of a variety of issues in any of their work as Rumi did. And, the trials of life, the experience, the relationship skills your mother would have hopefully bestowed upon you, or the father stage, the child stage, being satisfied with what one has, realizing the level of abundance even in the state of want. I just don't really know what to say. There's just so much